All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another edition of From the. I'm sorry.
Oh, God.
What the heck? Oh, hang on. Welcome to From. Yeah. Scratch that. Okay, sorry. Inclusion Matters podcast. There's two locations that aren't. Hold on. Okay. Tonight we are joined by Vito Fratelli. He is the crippled messiah. I am the heartbreaker, but I want you all to just forget about it. So, Vito, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
All right. First of all, thank you guys for having me on the podcast. It's definitely a pleasure, and I appreciate your hospitality. Um, my name is Vito Fratelli. I am the Sicilian powerhouse. Uh, Currently, 5 championships: WWZ Heavyweight Champion, Dream Slam Wrestling Champion, VWE Heavyweight Champion, one half of the VWE Tag Team Champions, and Lucha Libre Independiente Heavyweight Champion. Also, your IWRG World Lucha Libre Champion for 2023. Uh, Thanks for having me, guys. Pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. Um, so who were some of your wrestling heroes growing up?
Growing up, a lot of my heroes was like early mid '90s. So Bret the Hitman Hart is definitely one that's above them all. My all-time favorite. To me, the greatest of all time, the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
Can't argue with that.
But I mean, definitely, there's a ton of guys that I love their work. I admire what they've done in the business. Technical wrestling, like every single style of wrestling. There's definitely somebody that stuck out above the rest. Like, Rey Mysterio Jr., Bret the Hitman Hart, Shawn Michaels, El Santo, Blue Demon Jr., Psychosis, uh, shoot, Tajiri, hardcore wrestling. You're talking about people like Mike Awesome that made such a big difference for the Big Van Vader. So many different great talents throughout the years.
I completely agree. All right, Heartbreaker, you got a question?
I do. So, I understand that you had a match and you actually manhandled this person. And not many people get to manhandle this person. I'm talking about the one and only Alexander Hammerstone. Can you tell us a little bit about your encounters with Hammerstone?
Yeah, definitely. So, me and Hammer, we've been in the ring quite a few times. Um, Tag matches, six mans, freaking 5-way, and one singles encounter. So every time getting in the ring with Hammer is definitely a time, to step up your game. He's one of the best heavyweights in the world right now. One of the biggest, one of the baddest, one of the strongest. And yeah, I mean, we had our one-on-one match. It was a false count anywhere, no DQ style. So we laid it all out there. We let everything just hang out. Um, and yeah, I manhandled him. I power bombed him. I give him a superplex, freaking buckle bomb, tossed him around the ring. But he did the same to me. But Hammerstone's an amazing, amazing heavyweight. A guy that can move, a guy that could do a little bit of it all. And it was an honor sharing the ring with him. But he's one of those guys that were, up there on that list for me that I really wanted to work with. And then time after time, we just got to do a little bit more, and finally getting that one-on-one. It was phenomenal.
Well, I'll tell you before I ask my next question that what like made my eyes kind of pop a little bit when I was watching that match was I watched Hammerstone for a very long time, and you were the only man I've ever seen that caught him at a pop-up power bomb and held him in position. So that was like, okay, I that's impressive.
Yeah, man. Hammer's a big boy, but I'm a big strong boy too, so I can definitely handle my side when it comes to the
Oh, I
power
believe
game.
it.
Yeah.
So we like to do a lot of top fives. So just
Okay.
gotta give you fair warning about that now.
Okay.
So top 5 male wrestlers of all time.
Bret the Hitman Hart for sure. Woo, top 5. Blue Demon Jr. of all time. That's so hard. Kurt Angle. Who else? Top 5 of all time. Rob Van Dam. How many I got left?
Let's see. I think you got 2 left.
American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, and AJ Styles.
Ooh, good list.
Yeah. But that's hard, man. It's hard to, like, everybody has their own preference, right? When you're talking
Right.
wrestling, but like a lot of those guys for me are solid, like technicians, technical wrestlers, but they're gonna beat you ground and pound, And I like that strong style aspect.
Absolutely. Heartbreaker, you got a question?
Let's do the top 5 females of all time.
Okay. Can't hear you.
We can't hear you, Vito.
Okay, can you hear me right now?
There we go.
There we
now
go.
we can.
Okay,
You're
sorry
good.
about that.
You're
Top 5
good.
all time. Let's go. China, Charlotte Flair. Woo. I'm gonna go Bailey. Man, this is hard. Lita. And one more. Let's throw Molly Holly in there.
Ooh. I like that list.
A little bit of the past, a little bit of the present.
Exactly. So,
but honestly,
go
like
ahead. Sorry.
Charlotte Flair is probably the most well-rounded. She has that star power, that believability. She's such a amazing athlete, so she might be on top of that list.
I would agree with that. So, for the fans out there, and maybe in your personal opinion, what are some of the biggest difference between wrestling like lucha libre and wrestling like American style wrestling?
There's so many differences between lucha libre and American pro wrestling. Definitely the pace is one of them. Lucha libre is a much faster pace style sport. American pro wrestling, more psychology, more of a thinking man's game. And then obviously like the moves are completely different, the move sets. Um, a big thing that sets apart lucha libre from like American pro wrestling, uh, I would say a huge part of lucha is the fans. Like the fans are just as much part of the show, especially the live events, as like the wrestling in the ring is. And it's so much more like working towards the people, like, working off the people, feeding off the people in lucha libre versus like American pro wrestling.
I can see that, and I also feel like when I watch like lucha libre, it feels like the fans are a little more invested from the beginning because
Yeah,
they're so into the characters than
definitely,
some of the
definitely.
American crowds.
Yeah, and especially like on the independents, like indie lucha show versus like an indie pro wrestling show. Like the American independent fans, they're a lot harder to pop. You know, they're more the kind of I guess you would say like smart fans, right? Versus like lucha crowds, like you said, they're invested from the very beginning. They want to see the technical win. They want to see the Rudo get their ass beat, like
Yep.
heel and face.
All right, Heartbreaker, you're up.
Okay. Let's do top 5 tag teams of all time.
Top 5 tag teams: Heart Foundation, the Rockers, FTR, the Impact Players from ECW,
Ooh, yes.
and Hardys.
Ooh, another great list.
I feel like the Impact Players, like their run wasn't as long as a lot of those other tag teams. Like they didn't have such a long run together, and they were more of a faction than a tag team, even though they held the tag team belts in ECW. But I feel like
Right.
they meshed so well together, and they got like so much heat while they worked together with Francine in the corner. They're one of those tag teams that a lot of people don't even recognize.
Absolutely. And you, like you said, they meshed so well because their styles were different, but they were similar at the same time.
Right.
Full disclosure, I'm a huge ECW fan too.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah.
I love
In
ECW,
fact,
man.
before I did this podcast many years ago, I did a podcast with or an internet radio show with the original Pitbull.
Oh, no
Gary Cole.
way.
Yeah.
That's awesome. How cool is that?
Yeah, that was very cool.
Did you know him like on a personal level?
Only through the phone. So
Okay.
like one of my roommate's friends like was putting together a podcast and he knew Gary. And he
Okay.
called my buddy and he's like, "Hey, do you want to do a podcast with Gary Wolf?" Well, my buddy was making T-shirts for wrestlers, so he was too busy. So
Oh,
he looked at
wow.
me and was like, "Do you want to do it?" I'm like, "Do you have to ask?" Like,
That's awesome. That must have
yeah.
been a cool
So
experience.
it was, except for when we interviewed Bill Alfonso.
Really? What happened
I
there?
mean, he had great stories, but you know the whistle he blew with Rob Van Dam.
Uh-huh.
I keep in mind this is over the phone, so I have it right up against my ear, and he blew that whistle after every sentence.
Oh, no.
So after like 2 hours, I thought I was deaf.
Man, living the gimmick.
Yeah, absolutely. So, if you had a dream opponent, no questions asked, who would it be and why?
Hmm. Any time period or like
Yep,
current right
any
now?
generation, any generations, no questions asked.
Any generations, I would go with I'd probably go with jeez. I would probably go with Brian Danielson.
Ooh, I'd like to see that match.
I feel like what he's so well at is bringing out the best in people. Like he can
Yes,
really make every fight so much, add so much believability to it. Make everything seem like this is everything the person's getting, everything they're giving, everything it's gonna take to win that fight, and he really brings out that believability and that big fight feel, like in every match he touches.
I completely agree with that one too.
And he like when I probably stopped watching wrestling for like maybe like 5 or 6 years in like the early 2000s, and I started
Gotcha.
watching it again was like through the Ring of Honor DVDs, and like he stuck out to me like so much, and I was like, wow, this guy's awesome.
Yeah, back when he was in Ring of Honor, that was one hell of a roster.
Yeah,
Like, I mean,
that was like the super indies. Like that's when it was the hottest independent wrestling.
oh yeah. All right, Heartbreaker, you're up.
Sure. Okay, so what is your? It's a two-parter. So what is your post or your pre-match and your post-match routine?
Let's see. Pre-match. Well, usually like a show day, right? So show day, I'll definitely
Yeah.
get up early, hit the gym. Probably just get like a quick one in, like 40 minutes, 45 minutes, just to get the blood flowing, get a good pump that day, right? And then like before the show, stretching, mentally prepping, focusing on what the task at hand is for that day. Um, and it's weird because like previously I would get like crazy nervous, right? Um, and now the nerves only hit like literally right before I'm about to come out. Um, so like in the back, I'm calm, cool, collective. That music hits, the nerves hit. I see the people, and my character just turns on. Post match, just get some liquid in, get something to eat, and relax at home.
Sounds good. Uh, so what's the best advice your trainers ever given you? Do you still use that advice today?
Um, so I have some good advice for wrestlers. Not necessarily that came from trainer, but more so came from people that I worked with. So recently, Lindsay Dorado,
Ooh,
I worked with him last month in June, and he gave me a really good piece of advice, just about like in ring selling, working during a match, and it's sell emotion, not motion. So don't sell what you're doing, but sell the emotion of what you're doing. Get the fans invested in what you're doing by selling that emotionally. Like you want to do this crazy cool move, that's all fine and dandy, but if you're not selling that move that happened or that move that you gave, and that believability aspect goes out the window.
that's great advice.
um let's see what else. This is also like for wrestlers, um like in the ring, a lot of people are worried about like what's next, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the next part of the match? What's the next spot? Um, and a big piece is like, don't worry about what's next. Do whatever you're supposed to be doing right now, like 100%. So whatever it is that is like 100% speed, 100% strength. Like worry about what's going on in the now, and what's next is going to happen, and you'll get to it. But don't be worried about this big long match. Just worry about what's going on in the moment.
Got ya.
Yeah.
All right, Heartbreaker, you're up.
All right. So let's settle the debate. Let's find out, in your personal opinion, who's the best wrestler turned actor.
Ooh, the best wrestler turned actor. I'm gonna throw left here. Batista.
Great
It's a
answer.
good answer.
um, there's a few movies I've seen of him. One's like Knock at the Cabin, I believe is what it's called.
Yep.
And like I don't know, I just love his work on screen.
Yeah.
What do
He
you guys think?
I would probably go with Batista just also because he has such a wide range of what he can do. Like John Cena and The Rock, kind of play the same characters all the time. Although Cena's starting to branch out a little bit more, but
Yeah, he's doing like a lot more comedy, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
And I would have to agree with you guys as well with the Batista thing.
Nice. I don't know. There's a meme. I don't know if you guys seen it. It's like The Rock in like 9 different outfits, and it's from like 9 different movies, but he looks exactly the same.
Yep.
Like cargo shorts and like a button-up collared brown T-shirt.
I kind of have a funny story about the Knock on the Cabin movie. I have cerebral palsy, so I'm in a nursing home, right? So I was watching that movie on on my tablet. They turn all the lights off in the nursing home, you know, when it gets to a certain like time. And so I'm watching the movie and it gets to the point where it's like really suspenseful and it's, I'm really into it. And somebody came up beside me and tapped me on the shoulder to see if I was okay. I haven't walked a day in my life. That day, I almost walked.
Oh my gosh. Jumped right up, huh?
Oh, yeah. It was close.
That's funny.
So, what's the craziest match you've ever been in?
Oh, man. As far as stipulation or situation?
Maybe a little bit of both, because I think they can kind of go hand in hand. So
yeah. So like, one example, like crazy for me, right? It's my first time wrestling in the Auditorio de Tijuana. So it's a big arena in TJ, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where like all the big lucha shows are. It holds like 5,000, 4,000, 5,000 people. So it's my first time wrestling there. And I'm on a really big show, but I'm like a third or fourth match versus some other guy who's probably like at my same level, like unknown there in that territory, in that area. So I get to the arena, the promoter pulls me aside, he's like, "Hey Vito, we need to talk to you. We need to talk to you." I was like, "Hey, what's up?" He's like, points up at the big giant poster, and he's like, "You're wrestling in the main event against Blue Demon Jr. And it's for the title." And I was like, to me, I was like, "No way, dude! Like, you're ribbing me. I don't believe it. Like, there's no chance I'm gonna wrestle a legend for a championship in the main event in front of 5,000 people. Like, my first time ever being there." And he's like, "No, really? You're really doing that?" I was like, "I don't believe the guy, right? I don't believe him." I was like, "He's just messing with me. He's joking with me." I end up walking to the back, and they have like the list of the matches, right? And then I go down and I see my name against Blue Demon Jr. I was like, "No way, this is not happening." And like that match for me, like really made a difference in my career, and really kind of like helped me get like so much more exposure, and especially like in the audience like of Lucha Libre and in Mexico and stuff like that. And like literally like I felt like I was having an out of body experience. Like I was over the ring watching the match happen versus like physically being there doing it. And it was just like a crazy, crazy experience.
And what an honor, too. I mean,
right? I mean, like Blue Demon and Santo are like the 2 biggest names in Lucha Libre. And being able to share the ring with him in that aspect, like in a big time match for a title, main eventing a show in front of 4,000 or 5,000 people, like it was just so crazy. And like because that match went so well, like I had the opportunity to like do like a tour in Mexico City after that, and I'm working like Blue Demon every single night, like in 6-mans or 2-on-2 regular tag matches. And it was just crazy, like how that all happened, and like literally right place, right time. Somebody didn't show up, and I got lucky,
Wow.
And like I could have went out there and bombed. I could have went out there and because it's a lot. It adds a lot of pressure on you, but I went out there and knocked it out of the park, and made a difference in the future for myself.
Absolutely. That day I would have went out and bought a lottery ticket. I mean, if you're that lucky, you might as well just keep going.
Right. man. Um, and as far as like stipulations go, I've I've done a lot of things, like dog collar matches, table matches, TLC. I had a cage match against TJ Perkins. Um, I used to do like in the beginning of my career, I would do a little bit of like hardcore, like ultra violent style. So I've done like the thumbtack matches or wrestled on like broken glass, hit with cactus, like crazy shit like that.
Ouch.
Yeah.
The cactus, I think, would is even though the other two sound worse, I think the cactus would be the worst of all three because you'd be picking those tiny little needles out of your body for like days after.
Right.
Yeah.
Thumbtacks suck. They're not so bad like on your back, but like when they get in your hand, and then when they get in
Oh,
like your butt cheek, those are like the two worst places.
ah,
Ouch! I can
I
only
got
imagine.
Right? I mean, like
yikes.
it looks cool, aesthetically. It's like, oh wow, he's a pincushion now.
Exactly. All right. Well, let's go back to the top five, but this time we'll make it easy on you because let's do the top five male indie wrestlers of all time, in your opinion.
Okay. All right. Let's see. American Dragon, definitely. Uh, I'm gonna throw Christopher Daniels up there. That whole like mid 2000s like Ring of Honor crew, man. Low Key,
Yep.
Samoa Joe, Austin Aries.
Ooh,
Oh wow.
nice.
Yeah, those guys really
Okay, so let's.
revolutionized independent wrestling, and a lot of them did like a hybrid style. Brought that Japanese purosu, a little bit of lucha, that strong style, that big fight. And they were hitting hard. They were high impact stuff. Like that Ring of Honor was like gold to me.
Oh yeah. And what I liked about it was anybody on that roster could work any style.
Yeah, they literally could. They could do it all.
So let's stay on that same path and do the top 5 indie females of all time.
Okay. Let's see. That might be a little hard one for me. I'm gonna throw some names out there. Let's see. People that are killing it right now. A lot of the females in SoCal are really tearing it up. Like Viva Van's killing it. Johnny Robbie's killing it. Man, Zyra, J Rod, um, Milo. A lot of these girls out here are doing their thing. Jin Savani, like Zara, and even a lot of the luchas out here, like that are from TJ. They come to SoCal a lot. There's so much talent on the independent side for females, like up and coming, and as well as females that have been doing it for a long time. But yeah, I'm gonna stick with my SoCal girls.
Sounds good to us. All right, Heartbreaker, you're up.
All right. Let's do this one. Let's do the top five managers of all time.
What is it?
Top five managers of all time.
Ooh, nice. Jim Cornette. Let's see. Paul E. Dangerously.
Yep.
Mr. Fuji. Jimmy Hart. And one more. of all time. Sensational Sherry.
Ooh. Man, you were killing it on these lists.
Yeah, there's so much talent out there. It's hard. It's hard to just say five. But there are people that come to mind. The people that definitely made a difference in wrestling.
Mm.
So, can you tell us about when you wrestled the Irish juggernaut Mikey O'Shea?
Yeah. Let's see. We've been in the ring a few times. I think we've only had one one-on-one encounter. So we wrestled for a company called OCCW, and this was probably 2018, 2019. And Mikey's a big dude, right? Mikey's a
Mhm.
big guy, but he's super agile. Like astonishingly agile for his size. But we had a banger. I think I won that match. I did win that match. End up like power bombing him off the second rope
Oh,
for the finish. But that was a really fun match because Mikey can go, and I'm a big dude too. But being able to get in the ring with somebody that's a little bit bigger, a little bit better than you, always just rubs off on you and makes you better.
absolutely. Yeah, the Heartbreaker and I got familiar with Hammerstone and Mikey at first at the WCWC in Portland.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah. So let's see here. So out of all those names who's the biggest name that you've wrestled to date?
In what aspect?
Um,
So I would say like independent American independence would be like an Alexander Hammerstone, right? But
yeah.
like
Right.
Hammerstone, who's like strictly indie, or Flip Gordon, Zachary Wentz, Myron Reed,
Ooh.
like strictly indie guys, but people that like former WWE, like TJ Perkins, Lindsay Dorado, and then like on the lucha scene, like legends like Santo. I've been in the ring with Santo, Demon,
Oh, Jesus.
La Parca, Vampiro,
Oh.
like so many of those guys, right? August 19th, I'm wrestling against Psychosis.
Oh,
Like so many lucha guys as well. And a few of the former WWE guys. But it's crazy. It's crazy like working with different styles of wrestlers and different like generations. Like you're talking about like completely different generational, when some of these lucha guys that have been wrestling for like 30 plus years, like Santo, Demon, LA Park, like these guys have been working for a very, very long time, and then working someone like a Hammerstone who's like cream of the crop right now, top of the mountain as far as independent wrestling goes. Like that guy held like every heavyweight title on all the major indie companies like the last 3-4 years.
yep.
And then like former WWE guys like a Lindsay Dorado or a TJ Perkins, like they just bring everybody adds something, to your learning experience and to your abilities as a wrestler. And like being able to rub shoulders with these guys and get in the ring with them, it just makes you that much better.
Absolutely. And we didn't ask you a top 5, but that's one hell of a list you just named off right there.
There's so many. There's so many. Like,
oh yeah.
I'm sure I missed a million of them.
And before you ask your next question, Mr. Messiah,
Yep.
I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy.
I'm just gonna do the same thing. That was insane.
That was probably the best list I think we've asked on this podcast so far.
And that includes all the top 5s.
Yes.
So,
All right, Messiah, ask your question, my man.
All right, so this one's going to be a little bit tougher. We're going to ask you to put your booking hat on.
Okay.
If you could make a WrestleMania card of 6 matches with talent from any generation, no questions asked, and indies can be available, who would you put on your card?
So we're talking about like strictly WWE guys.
Nope, can be indies, could be anybody.
Oh,
And
wow.
this is your card. No questions asked, no limitations.
6 matches?
Yep.
Wow. That's crazy. Whew. So I'm gonna throw that WrestleMania TLC match in there. And I'm gonna keep it just the way it was. Edge and Christian versus the Dudleys versus the Hardys. That match is gonna be on the card. So that's one. Let's see. I'm gonna do a New Japan style match. Let's get Tetsuya Naito against Okada.
Oh.
A 1-on-1. A throwback to Lucha. We're gonna get Blue Demon Jr. tagging with LA Park versus Santo and Solitario. Let's see what else. I got 3 matches so far.
Yep.
CM Punk versus John Cena.
Ooh.
Because I love their, what was that, Chicago? Was it a Money in the Bank pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Their big match, was it 2011?
Yeah, because that's the one where he left with the belt.
Yeah, so we're going to get that match, start the summer of Punk again. Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart. Iron Man match 2.
Thank you. Sign me up for that one.
And since I'm booking, Bret's over this time. Sean's doing the job.
Probably should have been over the first time.
Right. And let's see. What we got left?
I think you have maybe
Bailey.
One left. Yeah, 1 or 2.
Sasha, Bailey, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch, Fatal 4-Way.
Ooh.
And then that's it.
Wow. Okay, it's official, Heartbreaker. I want to spend whatever money I have on that card. I'm telling you, you can name your price on that card.
Right? I'm sure there's a lot more matches than 6, but those are your 6 headliners.
There you go. So, all right, Heartbreaker, you're up.
Oh, that was such a good card. I'm still trying to process it.
I know, right?
Yeah. Okay, top 5 commentators of all time. It can be, anywhere, any promotions, anywhere. Top 5 commentators.
All right. Oh my God, Joey Styles.
It's a very good impersonation.
Let's see if I can get another one. Mamma Mia.
Mauro Ranallo.
Mauro Ranallo. He's got a family, damn it.
It's another good impersonation.
JR. Let's see. Jerry the King Lawler and Gorilla Monsoon.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
I think we have a new top of the leaderboard on these lists if we were keeping a tally board.
Yeah, most definitely.
And it's crazy, like how much commentary can add to, like the excitement, the drama of a match. If you got like really good commentators, doing that play-by-play of that match, they can make or break how the audience at home sees it. And like
Yep.
with independent shows, there's like a lot of lucha companies that do like live commentary over the microphone,
Oh, interesting.
and they'll really like they can get the fans like into the show that much more, versus shows that don't have it. So it really does make a difference.
It's a very interesting thought.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we asked what your craziest match you were in. What's the craziest crowd you ever wrestled in front of?
Whew. I would say there's two shows that stick out. That Blue Demon one that I told you about earlier.
Right.
So in the auditorio, you're not supposed to fight like on the outside. But we went through the barricade. We were fighting in the audience. At one point, I smacked Blue Demon with the chair. Bah! Somebody hands me a beer. I smash it across his head, right? And then somebody holds up another beer, and instead of grabbing it, I smacked it out of that dude's hand and start talking crap to the audience. And then people just started throwing beers at me, full beers, big old cups of beer, like chucking them at me from every which way direction. I probably had like 22 beers thrown on me that night. And we had people from the venue like, you guys need to get out of the audience now. You need to get out of the crowd now. Like, you're gonna start a riot. Like, you need to get out now. And they like rushed us back to the ring. But it was great. It's probably like the craziest like heat I've ever had, like in one single moment. And that was really cool. And then I did another show for a company out there, and we wrestled in front of like, it was like either 9 or 10,000 people in this big outdoor arena, and just being able to do that in front of such a big crowd was awesome. It was amazing. It was like a crazy experience.
Very cool.
And that's definitely like the biggest crowd I ever wrestled in front of.
Wow. All right, Heartbreaker, you're up.
Okay, well, I think we're gonna bring it back just once. So, what is your favorite snack or cookie?
Favorite. That's hard. Something or anything with peanut butter. So like those nutty bars,
Mm-hmm.
they're like wrapped in chocolate, or like a Nutter Butter cookie. Peanut butter, anything peanut butter, I love it.
Sounds good to me. What advice would you give to like a beginning promoter that's just starting a promotion?
I think there's like a lot of things that people definitely do wrong, and it might not be because, like, obviously that's not their intent. They're not intending to have a bad show or promote the wrong way, or any of those things, right? But I would say, if you're a promoter just getting started, you need to promote the hell out of that show you're gonna have, right? So flyers, posters, advertisements, and this is all like physically in person first, as well as like your online following and your online base. A lot of people forget like the old school style of going out and passing out flyers. A lot of people don't believe in that. They just rely on social media so much to get people to come to their show, that they're not passing out flyers, that they're not hanging big posters, that they're not spending money on advertising. If you call yourself a promoter, you need to be promoting the show and promoting the event.
Completely agree.
And
right.
you can have a lot of people think like on a card you need to have like a big star or a big name or a big fly-in just so you can draw. But really it comes down to how well are you promoting. Because if you promote the right way, I mean, you can easily pack 200-300 people into any venue you want. But if you're not promoting and you're just relying on that big name, that big star, it's not going to do you justice and do the job you're looking for.
That's really good advice. All right, Heartbreaker, you're up.
Okay, well, I think I'm going to take this moment to do a little public service announcement because, again, we have Vito from Southern California. We had Nicolette on last night, and we did the same thing in her interview. At this time, I'd like to just allow Nathan to do his public service announcement for Vito. I think you know the gentleman we're going to talk about next, Mr. Triple M, Mike Martinez.
Okay.
So with that, Crippled Messiah, go ahead and take it away.
We just want to let everybody know to keep praying for Hutzel and keep sharing the hashtag bring Hutzel home. I know that they have a GoFundMe account, which you can find on my Facebook page, to raise some money for the lawyer fees for, to get Hutzel home. I also know that they're getting closer to getting Hutzel back home. And I do know that on September 30th, I believe, like Versus and Valor and I think 2 other promotions are doing a benefit show in California to help raise money for the lawyer costs. So again, share the hashtag bring Hutzel home, and if anybody wants to contribute to the GoFundMe, you can find that on my Facebook page, which is under Nathan Doss. And just help him out because he really needs to come home and be with his mom. I'm sure he's missing her by now. So that's pretty much all I got.
All right.
Just to kind of piggyback on that, I've known Mike for quite some time. He's a great guy. My heart goes out to him, his family, everything they're going through right now. And Hunter needs to be with his mom. What happened is it's pretty it's sad, it's heartbreaking, but I know they're getting closer and every bit helps, anybody that can help out.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Absolutely.
So if you had a dream tag team partner of any generation, who would it be and why?
I would say I'm gonna go with Brett.
That would be an amazing tag team.
Recreate the Hart Foundation. I could be Neidhart. Just got to go the goatee a little bit longer. Do the laugh.
I can see it.
Right? It could be done.
You could even do like a pop-up power bomb into the heart attack too.
Right?
So
that would be cool.
All right, Heartbreaker, you're up.
It always gets a little rougher towards the end of the. But okay, here we go. So let's do. You know what? Let's do indie. I feel the need for this question. Let's do top 5 indie tag teams.
Whew. Let's go. Chris Hero and Claudio Castagnoli, the Kings of Wrestling.
Yep.
They were phenomenal. The Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson from out here, SoCal area.
Mm-hmm.
Their time in PWG, what they did in IWGP, Ring of Honor, Sports Illustrated, like everything that they did in their journey, and obviously like where they are now, you know, they earned every bit that they got coming to them. So that's one of those teams that's, you know, immortalized for what they've done, and especially coming from an independent level. Let's see, who else? Indie tag teams. The Briscoes, J and Mark Briscoe.
Yes.
Their stuff in Ring of Honor was amazing. Indie. Another SoCal team, the Ballard Brothers.
Yep.
They were a great team. They really brought the best in SoCal wrestling. The tag team scene goes. 2 Canadian guys kicking butt. And let's throw who we got in there. I don't think they were teamed for very long, but they were in Ring of Honor together. It was Roderick Strong with Austin Aries.
Oh yes. I
And
almost
they were
had their
ROH
name
champs a
too.
little bit.
But
They
I
had this
can't-
match, and it was when ROH was in London, and they wrestled. I think it was Shingo, and somebody else. But that match, it was on the Best of the World DVD and Ring of Honor.
Mhm.
That was like one of the greatest tag team matches ever.
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna ask a different one. So have you ever wrestled in the state of Washington?
No, never.
Gotcha.
I feel
I
like I've
think you would
wrestled.
get over.
Hold on, let me
I've
finish. Go
wrestled
ahead.
more like in Mexico and different places in that country than I have in like states in the U.S. It's pretty crazy.
Wow.
Gotcha.
Go ahead, Nate or Messiah.
I think you would get over wonderfully in Washington. Like people would eat your character up over here. So
Nice. Is it how's the indie wrestling out there? Like how's the scene?
it's good. It's picking up a little bit more now than it
Yeah.
has been.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got a couple of phenomenal wrestlers up here. Richard Tyson is out of Canada, but
Okay.
he's probably one of Washington's biggest heels.
Nice.
He kind of does like a Miz persona, like he has his real talk with Rashad. So he kind of does like a Miz gimmick, or I don't know. Would you think more of a Miz or a Waller right now? Messiah?
More of a Grayson Waller right now.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, he would be, you know, he's phenomenal. I think he wrestles all over the place. I think he's been into SoCal and stuff like that. But yeah, there's a great faction up here, Hellbound. They've all been wrestling for many, many, many years. But yeah, I mean, it's not as good as the California or SoCal circuit, but I mean, we can hold our own.
Nice.
Yeah, we're picking up some steam. So
Yeah.
What's like some of the bigger indie promotions?
there's Defy out of Seattle.
Okay. Yeah.
There's also DOA out of Portland.
Okay.
Blue Collar Wrestling out of Portland.
Yep.
Um,
There's also a theatrical wrestling, and what we mean by that is when the pandemic happened, they would do all the wrestling like on a stage, like you would with a
Okay.
play, which is
That's
very
cool.
innovative in my opinion.
Yeah, that's cool.
And that's called Combat Pro Wrestling or CPW.
Okay.
So yeah, those are the only ones that are off the top of my head. Is there any more you can think of, or?
well, there's that BC or that one up in Ocean Shores,
Oh, RWA.
RWA, and there's going to be a new one debuting here very, very soon. One that Messiah and I are proud of because it's our promotion, Inclusion
Nice.
Pro Wrestling.
Nice.
Yes.
And then there's another gentleman on the east side that used to be our podcast partner, but we won't get in. Big Money Dodge is actually opening a school and promotion up here too.
Nice.
So
That's cool. I'm gonna have to check out some of those companies. A lot of them I haven't heard of.
I can send you some stuff on CPW.
Okay.
That way you'll get.
Yeah, that one's a good company. That one's one that we really follow a lot because and we're gonna kind of base ours after that too. More theatrical wrestling than actual wrestling. So that's kind of how we're gonna base ours too. But
nice.
So.
And he brought up Rashad Tyson. He has one of the most inventive finishing moves. I don't know if he has a name for it yet. Otherwise, I would tell you the name. But it's like an unprettier that he jumps up into a Dirty Deeds like front bulldog.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's one of those moves that when you see it, you have to kind of rewatch it another time just to, make sure you saw what.
That's cool.
So.
All right. So where can we find you on social media, and when is your next match?
On Facebook, it's Vito Fratelli, and Instagram is Real Vito Fratelli. My next show is Thursday. It's actually a free event. It's going to be at Mayberry Park in Whittier. They're doing these like summer nights thing at this park, and we've had like 4 or 5 events on Thursdays, and they're free events, free to the public. Everybody can come, show up. And then I got some stuff coming up the following weekend for VWE. I'm gonna be wrestling like in the Imperial Valley area on the 12th, and then Dream Slam Wrestling in Santa Ana on the 11th.
Very nice.
Cool.
But those are the next 2 weeks. After that, there's more stuff as well.
Wow. So, Messiah, would you like to do your sponsors before closing?
Yes, but first I would like to say one thing about that inclusion, if you don't mind, because sometimes you like to do this, but you want me to do it or you want to do this part?
Well, you can do it, but we got to talk to the booker still, remember?
Oh, I know. But let me tell you a little bit about the Inclusion Pro Wrestling. The reason it's called Inclusion is 3 members of the people that are on our board have physical disabilities.
Okay.
So, like, including myself. So, and our whole mission statement is regardless of what your disability is or what you have going on, you're never going to be turned away from like living your dream of like professional wrestling. Because a lot of, at least the 3 people here, and I know for a lot of people have told, the 3 of us that like we couldn't do it, right? Because I'm in a wheelchair or like, whatever, right? So, you can't get into a ring or you can't do this. So, our promotion is to say, yes, you might have this going on, but you can still, live your dreams of professional wrestling.
That's amazing. I think that's really cool that like your mission statement and what you guys are doing. And you're right, man. Like follow your dreams, like whatever that is, pro wrestling, something else, like don't ever let it go. And don't let anybody tell you can't, because like you said, like if you want to do it, if you're going to put your mind to it, your heart, your soul into it, make it happen, because that's what you love. That's your passion.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
Go check AJ's room.
And then I'll go ahead and say our last two sponsors, which are our other two sponsors, which are the CARE program, which stands for Community Action Reaching Everybody. And you can find the lady that's in charge of that on Facebook, which is Becky Bernhardt. And Bruce Nichols Painting for all your painting, pressure washing, and lead removal needs. And you can find him on Andy's.
All righty. Well, for the Crippled Messiah, for myself, Vito, it was an honor.
Yes, thank you.
And it will be a podcast that we will never forget about it.
That's for sure.
That is for sure. It's probably one of the best interviews we've done, and we've done almost 150 now. So,
oh wow!
In like 6 months. So yeah, we interview every night. So we're up to almost 150.
That's amazing.
So please join us tomorrow night when we'll have another returning guest of ours for the second time, Mr. Plex Mex, and his manager for the first time, Mr. Jay Sizzle, with special guests. Not sure who they are yet. Won't reveal them, but he'll be on tomorrow night at 6 p.m. So until then, we'll see you next time. And again, Vito, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It was an honor, and you are welcome to come back anytime.
Anytime.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me. Greatly appreciate it. Inclusion Matters Podcast, Inclusion Pro Wrestling. I appreciate you. Thank you for what you do. And if you got a problem with it, forget about it, huh?
Thanks, bud. Okay, we'll see you guys later. Bye.